This is Grace Power, and I just wanted to go ahead and do an audio version of my book and just kind of walk you through in case it's just easier to listen to audio instead of reading, which is often the case in this day and age. So if you do want to read it, you can get it on Amazon. This is the link to the version Find Your Niche and Get Rich for Estheticians and Massage Therapists by myself, the Sugar Queen, Grace J. Power, and it's $4.99 for the Kindle version on Amazon. But we also created this website, bookforestheticians.gracejpower.com, and so this is where I was just going to read from here, and you can follow along or just listen, whatever's easiest. And this is I'm just going to start with the introduction and then move into chapter 1. So the introduction, if you picked up this book, it probably means you are a massage therapist or esthetician looking to increase your financial success. We often get into the business because we want to help people, but we find out we can't give away our services for free, at least not all of the time. We do need to find a way to create an income to support our business expenses as well as our life. Whether you are just starting out or already have a full schedule of clients, this book will help you discover the importance of a niche. Having a niche not only increases your profitability, but most of the time gives you more energy because you are working with your favorite clients and doing your favorite services. It helps give you clarity and focus in how to brand and market your business. Having a niche will set you apart and make it easier for you to be successful in the industry. Through reading this book, you will be inspired in how to determine your unique niche and be exposed to the bigger vision of what's possible for your short-term and long-term future as a successful esthetician or massage therapist. All right, I'm going to skip the acknowledgments and the about the author and just go to chapter 1. Choosing your niche. Oftentimes your niche will come to you naturally. Other times you may need to go out and find it. For me, it was a combination. I had heard from T.R. Vecker, author of Secrets to the Millionaire Mind, that having a niche will actually bring you more profit in business. You may feel as though you are limiting your possibilities, but you are actually increasing them by picking a niche. I decided to trust this guidance. At the time, I owned a day spa where we offered a full menu of services. Being new to the industry, I kept adding more services every few months. I was so excited about everything, I wanted to try it all. When I initially bought the spa, they offered facials, waxing, massage, and nails. From there, I added body wraps, spray tanning, acupuncture, permanent makeup, hot stone massage, Brazilian waxing for women and men, and I was in the process of adding laser hair removal and photo facials when I sold it. By adding so many things, it made it difficult to brand, which made it difficult to market. While working at the spa, I was the only esthetician who wanted to do Brazilians. All the other estheticians were intimidated or not interested in offering them. I began to notice that my Brazilian clients were really fun. I was able to talk to them the whole time, and oftentimes they would share with me personal things about their life. This never really happened when I did massages and facials. I usually was quiet the majority of the time for those services, but Brazilian waxing was unique. Because it was rather painful during parts, the clients also grew a stronger trust in me. They knew the service would hurt, but that they were trusting that I would get the job done without causing more pain or discomfort than necessary. Through this process, I created a bond with my Brazilian clients that was much deeper than my massage clients. I noticed the financial benefits to offering Brazilians, especially as I picked up speed and could do a Brazilian in 30 minutes or less. I was charging the same amount of money for a Brazilian as I was for an hour-long massage or facial. Plus, Brazilian clients would come back month after month as their hair would grow back in. If they went longer than a month, the process was more painful, so there was incentive to not miss a month. After hearing T.R. Vecker's advice about having a niche, I started thinking about opening a studio that specialized in doing Brazilians. I started researching it immediately. Then I started putting together a business plan. I met with a few other business owners and shared my ideas with them. Having their ideas as well helped me solidify my plans. Next thing I knew, I was registering my new business name for a Comaclitic studio and putting a deposit down on a space for rent. Everything was coming together. As I built my business from the ground up, I noticed that it was very easy and fun to do the branding and marketing since I had such a narrow niche of male and female Brazilians. I was offering laser hair removal and waxing in the beginning, eventually sugaring replaced waxing. Besides Brazilians, I did hair removal on all the areas of the body, but the majority of my clients came in for Brazilians and then added on other areas if needed. I was having so much fun because instead of doing all sorts of various services throughout the day, I was only doing hair removal and I was gaining expertise and efficiency. I'm so happy and I've been so successful, I want to share it with you. I want to see other estheticians, massage therapists, and people in our industry excel in their businesses. With all the variety of services, products, and target markets, everyone can have a unique niche and be successful at it. In our industry, your niche could be a specific service, a specific target market, or a specific product. Some examples are massage therapy and skincare for professional golfers, massage therapy for pre and post pregnancy, massage therapy for elderly, energy work for anxiety and depression, esthetician who specializes in permanent eyeliner, esthetician who specializes in electrology for hormonal hair problems, esthetician who specializes in skin cancer care, treatments, and prevention, esthetician who specializes in adult acne. The more specific you can be, the more success you will have in branding and marketing yourself. Questions to consider. What are you passionate about? You want to choose something that ignites you. For me, it was Brazilians. I loved the relationships I could make with the customers, and I loved the feeling of being trusted with such an intimate service. It could be that your niche is something you are already doing, but you want to be doing more of, or perhaps it's something you see is missing in the marketplace, something you've heard is in demand, but no one is specializing in it yet. Even though it may not be something you are really passionate about at the moment, after looking into it further, you may discover it is your golden ticket, and it has you smiling just thinking about it. Passion is important because you are going to be spending countless hours formulating, creating, selling, and being involved in your business. You want it to be something you are going to love every single day. I never got tired of selling Brazilians. I want everyone, especially the women, to try it out. I know how great they are, and I love offering them to people. I also love selling my pink wink cream and sugaring. I am passionate about these products. They make me so happy. I have caught myself kissing the bottles occasionally. That is how much I love them. When I first started doing Brazilians, I used hard wax, and I thought it was the best. My passion for offering Brazilians grew to a whole new level once I started sugaring. Both my clients and I benefited from a much more efficient, less painful, and cleaner process. I was in heaven, and so were my clients. If you aren't sure what you are passionate about, take some time to notice what services you get the most excited about when you see them on the schedule. Another way to start determining your passion is to notice what services you are not excited about. If you get super excited about doing hydrofacials, but you don't really like doing regular facials, that is a clue. If you notice that you feel sick working on acne skin, but you really enjoy when clients add on a tightening mask, that is a clue. Even though I enjoyed facials and massage, I was so much more excited about waxing, in particular Brazilian waxing. That is how I knew it was a passion and something that I would enjoy doing as my niche. If you are brand new to the industry, you may not have had a chance to experience all the varieties of services, products, or clients, so you may want to work at a spa first to try some different things out before you focus in on your niche. More than likely, though, you started to get a feel for what you enjoyed the most and what things you didn't really like doing as much when you were going through school or working in the field. That is a great starting point. You will notice that you have a lot more energy when you create a business where the majority of your day you get to do what makes you the most excited. You will do a better job at the service, and your clients will pick up on your excitement and passion and be more likely to rebook and refer people to you. You may have heard the saying, follow your bliss. That is what I would recommend when choosing your niche business. What are the startup costs? Even though passion is important, you also want your niche to make business sense. Startup costs include anything you need to purchase or invest in to get into business. You want to consider all the costs because even the little things can really start to add up. Some ideas include registering your business, trademarking your business name, logo design, business card design and printing, brochure design and printing, website design, rent plus deposit, remodeling a space, lighting, equipment, instruments, back bar supplies, sheets, products, retail items, office supplies, phone, internet, laptop, software, printer, filing system, furniture, decor, reception area, product shelving, etc. Obviously, you don't need every little thing before you take on your first client. What I did, and I teach others to do, is to start small and use the money that comes in to add and upgrade things as you go. I did this with the Calm Clinic from day one, and it's fun to look back at the pictures of when I first opened with barely anything. Over the years, I transformed the space to be more functional and attractive. I worked with 5 different designers, 2 different lighting companies, an architect, sign companies, electricians, and handymen. I kept improving the space little by little every year as to not spend too much money all at once. Every time I spent money on the space, I asked myself, do I want to spend this money on my business or towards a personal expense? One time I had the choice of adding in sinks in the treatment rooms and decided to use that money instead towards a 10-day trip to Australia and New Zealand. It turned out that I never once missed having the sinks in the rooms, and scuba diving in the barrier reef was an experience I will never regret. If you don't pace yourself, it's easy to spend $30,000 all in one go in remodeling, signage, and decorating costs. Instead, spread this out over years to avoid going broke your first year in business. I always kept my vision of what I truly wanted, but didn't rush getting there. Eventually, I reached my goals, and by not starting with everything all at once, it gave my clients something to look forward to. Clients like seeing a business that keeps current and has something new each time they visit. It's a sign of progress and success. Even if it is simply rearranging your products and highlighting different products and services. The best thing to do to calculate your startup costs is to write down the absolutely necessary costs, the need it fairly quickly costs, the eventually I will need it costs, and the someday I would like to have it costs. By doing this, you will not be so intimidated by the total startup cost because you will be able to see how it can be gradually purchased instead of all up front. If you're not sure of the cost for some of the things that you want for your business, you can start by writing down an anticipated cost range. Then go back later and do some research to get more specific. Looking for things like used equipment instead of new equipment could be an option to start at a lower initial cost. You can also always upgrade as you grow your business. There are companies that will lease equipment so that you don't have to come up with the full price to get started. I did this with my lasers and lamp probe machine at a Calm Clinic. When I first started my massage business, I didn't have much money saved, basically enough for my first month's rent. My massage table was included in my massage school tuition, so I already had that. The only other startup cost was purchasing sheets and massage oil. I started out with the bare minimum. The only decor I had was a picture on the wall that I had brought from home. I remember my room having a very flat, echoey sound because of the tile floors, and the only furniture I had was a chair and a massage table. As the money came in from the customers, I used that money to add some decor. It was a super small room though, so I couldn't fit too much. In our industry, you really can get started with the bare minimum. Even if you start with doing massage at your house or your client's house, all you really need is the massage table, sheets, and some oil. If you are doing facials, you can start with what you are using on your own skin. When I first introduced facials, I took my facial cleanser and toner from my bathroom to use on my first clients. I offered a deal with doing a facial and a massage in 1 hour. While the steam was going, I did the arm and shoulder massage. While the mask was sitting on, I did the leg massage. So needless to say, don't let the startup costs keep you from launching your niche business. It's wise to expect some startup costs so you aren't blindsided, but in our industry, you can pretty much get started with what you have. If needed, you could even give massages or facials on the floor or on a bed in the beginning. If you treat it like a business from the beginning, you will make money and you will grow a loyal clientele that will follow you as you move into bigger and better accommodations for them. Even if you start less professional than what you would like, keep the vision and it will come to fruition. On a final note, even though I never earned a loan or a grant, I did apply for them. It never hurts to try and see if you can qualify for a grant, which is something you don't have to pay back, or a low interest loan like an SBA loan. But don't count on this money to get started. And some of the loans are a very long process to apply for. So while you're waiting, get started doing your services. What are the per service costs? When choosing your niche, your cost for the services that are going to be your specialty should be profitable. You want your revenue to be able to cover all your costs and pay you a nice income. Take into account the time and product costs for delivering the service along with what equipment is required. Make sure that when all is accounted for, you are making a profit. One of my friends has a business in which she primarily does microdermabrasion and uses the Lamprobe machine that treats any minor skin irregularity. She has clients on a set program where the first visit they receive the microdermabrasion and the full face spot treatment. Then a follow-up microdermabrasion is scheduled a couple weeks later. The skin is reassessed and she recommends when the next spot treatment needs to be done. She has her own product line that she sells her clients to improve the results from the services they receive. Her entire business revolves around 2 machines that are not very expensive and deliver amazing results. By having a niche, you may be able to charge more, i.e. Aveda salons, because it is your specialty, or you may be able to charge less, i.e. Massage Envy, because you have such a streamlined system that beats out the competition. Every niche service is going to be different. However, carefully considering the per service cost will help you get your prices accurately, including your promotional, membership, or package pricing. If you do have employees, whether receptionists or technicians, you will need to account for all of those costs as well. If for some reason you have a great niche idea, but at the end of all the calculations it doesn't look like a profitable one, brainstorm with some other people, either come up with a way to cut costs, increase prices, or discover an entirely different niche. Sometimes the craziest niches that seem impossible to be profitable can actually become incredibly profitable with the right timing, marketing, persistence, or plain luck. Don't be too quick to throw away a great niche idea just because the numbers don't quite compute. Oftentimes, the entrepreneur spirit of where there's a will, there's a way might have you find a twist that makes you successful with it. If you plan on eventually hiring staff to do the services for you as your business grows, you will want to consider the costs of paying them. Additionally, when I hired estheticians to do the Brazilians, the tip income was not really income anymore since that money went straight to the esthetician. You will want your prices set so that you still profit after you pay the employees their wages and the tips. Prices can always be adjusted down the road, but it still is something to consider, especially if you are offering memberships or package pricing that could affect your profit when hiring staff later on. Who is your target market? Another important factor to consider are the clients. What clients do you enjoy working with the most? What are the clients that really make your day? Who could have a whole business based around your target market? You could have a whole business based around your target market. If you are drawn to work with golfers, you could have multiple services and products offered that appeal to that demographic. For instance, imagine a little spa that specializes in care for golfers. It would be strategically located near or at a golf club, offering products and services that address sun exposure and the common injuries golfers experience, such as facial services that would help alleviate a sunburn, body treatments that could address sun exposure on legs or the back of the neck, massage treatments that focused on the common areas where golfers experience soreness, and hot and cold treatments or ultrasound treatments that could address injuries. Sunblock would be a great seller. By selling or giving away products with your logo on them, such as hats, sunglasses, or even golf shirts and shorts, the clients could become a walking billboard for you while they're on the golf course. Can you see how easy it would be to put together your marketing materials knowing you wanted to target golfers? It would also be so much easier to know where to advertise and what other businesses you could affiliate with who share the same target market. The website content would be easier to create. Each blog article could be about a specific health or wellness concern for golfers and promote a product or service that offers a solution for that specific concern. Even the descriptions of the services on your brochure or website could describe how the service was addressing a golfer. The names of some of your products could be creative with golf terms such as the green facial mask or hole-in-one hand cream. I'm not sure about you, but I find it to be so much fun coming up with all sorts of these new ideas. If it overwhelms you, you can always start with the very basics and add more variety as you grow your clientele. In fact, the clients are oftentimes the best resource for your new ideas. As you can imagine, if all of your marketing was aimed at golfers and you offered a superior service customized to their needs, why would they not go to you? Choosing your target market will also set the tone for your business. If you go after women in politics versus pursuing engineers, you are going to have different types of conversations with your clientele and a different tone altogether in the environment that will appeal to them. Before you go after a certain group just because you think they will have the money to afford your services, make sure they are the type of person you really enjoy serving. In my personal experience, I enjoyed my Brazilian clients so much more than my facial and massage clients. When I owned a Kama Clinic, we did a photo facial promotion on Groupon. And so we had a lot of new clients coming in for photo facials. At the next staff meeting, we all agreed that we didn't enjoy these new clients as much as we enjoyed new clients who came in for Brazilians. So from then on, I didn't promote photo facials to new clients. I only promoted them to our existing clients. When I was sculpting my target market, I was clear about what type of people I wanted to work with, and based on the kinds of Brazilian clients I was seeing at the spa. I wanted to work with people who were fun, open-minded, sexual, loving, self-aware, positive, and beautiful. From there, I discovered that these types of people tended to be in sales, in business, in a steady career, or working as a waitress or even in the beauty industry. You can gather some ideas of who your target market is from the people you know are currently getting the services that you want to create your niche in. Another example of using your target market as your niche is brides. You could provide specific services tailored to brides, bridals, parties, bachelorette parties, and the family of the groom. Or you could narrow down your niche even more to something like the groom to groom and offer hair, skin, nail, and hair removal services for grooms preparing for their big day and honeymoon. This opens up your affiliate opportunities to every business who targets the brides and weddings. Just from these examples, you can see how much fun it is to have a niche and how much easier marketing becomes when you know specifically who your target market is and what specific services you provide for them. Oftentimes, as you narrow down your target market, you actually find more facets to it that other companies aren't harnessing. As you work more with your target market, you will discover more about what they like and want from you. If their suggestions excite you and offer you additional revenue, you can incorporate them into your business because they are still within your niche. When putting together your business plan, you will want to specify your target market, and as your business grows, keep referring back to your original plan. It's very easy to get distracted and off course. With every new marketing material or print ad, ask yourself, am I attracting my target market with this? You will notice yourself choosing a specific advertising avenue because they already are targeting your niche market. This will increase the response you're having in your advertising. Plus, the business you do pull in will be more likely to become repeat customers and refer people to you because you met their specific need and were the best at it. Who is your competition? Competition is not a bad thing. The narrower your niche, the more you see other professionals in your industry as your comrades instead of your competition. In fact, I've never really liked that word because oftentimes there are ways to work with the so-called competition and turn them into comrades. One example of this is when I was completely booked and had clients that couldn't wait until my next opening. I was able to send them to my competition who I trusted instead of saying, there isn't anything I can do for you. Clients were often surprised by the referral, but also grateful since they may have a hard time finding a trusted place simply looking online or in a directory. I've also had an occasional potential client who asked for a referral closer to where they lived, and I gave them the name of a salon or esthetician who I trusted. When a client moves to another city, they have sometimes asked me who they should go to. It's pretty easy to go online and find someone near them who offers a similar service with either the same equipment, products, or techniques that I use. So I will do this for them since they may not know exactly what to search for. In return, I've had multiple estheticians and 2 Denver waxing salons send their customers to a Kama Clinic studio for similar reasons. Another example of how we teamed up with our competition is when we had an inappropriate male client and we immediately asked him to leave. He had mentioned going to another salon during the consultation, so I called them and asked if they had made note of a similar experience with this client. They said they hadn't, but that he had just called trying to get in. Fortunately, they didn't have any openings that day. She made a note on his account in case he were to call again in the future. I'm sure they appreciated the warning. I read one time about a hair salon who had a great policy for problem clients. If they had a client who they couldn't please, they would give them a gift certificate to a neighboring salon. I thought this was a great idea. I haven't done that exactly, but I did have a tough customer who really wanted cheap laser prices and complained about how far we were from her house. I went online and found a couple places closer to her home that used our same laser and recommended them to her. This may seem like a bad decision for business, but I didn't regret it. Sometimes it's simply not worth the hassle of trying to accommodate someone that another business is better suited for. Massage therapists can work with each other by sending clients back and forth who may be a better fit for the other style. If you like doing deep tissue, it's helpful to have a trusted massage therapist that you can send clients who want Swedish. It's also helpful if you share a room and have different styles. That way, by sending each other occasional clients, you still help yourself by ensuring the other portion of rent is paid, and they are more likely to refer clients back to you. When putting together your business plan, you will want to research your competition. And even after getting your business started, you will want to constantly keep up with what other companies are doing in your industry and especially your niche. Remember that any services you get from other salons and spas while spying on what they are doing is a tax deduction. I include it as market research in my tax returns. It is actually rather fun to investigate your competition to gather new ideas for what you want to do the same or differently. For instance, I have heard over and over again that other wax salons do not get all the hair and they don't get all ingrowns. These are two things that I incorporated into a Clinic. We pride ourselves in getting all of the hair, including the butt crack hair and Brazilians. We also schedule extra time to allow time for removal of any ingrown hairs and do a thorough check to make sure we didn't miss anything. Quite a few of the wax salons in the Denver area only schedule 15 minutes for Brazilian. We normally schedule 30 to 45 minutes. Another simple thing that I would hear about other estheticians who waxed was that they didn't put their hand down on the skin immediately after pulling out the hair. This is one thing that we were able to incorporate and make the experience much less painful for our customers. It seems so simple, and yet it makes a difference for them. And when many clients have told us that it's one of the reasons they come back to us and don't want to go anywhere else. Your competition is not only those businesses that are located near you physically, but also those businesses that come up on search engines for specific keywords. Brainstorm strategies for how you will compete with these other companies. When you have a niche, that is one way that you will eliminate much of your competition. You want to be the only one that has your exact specialty. I eliminated much of my competition with other spas and salons by narrowing down to Brazilian hair removal, sugaring, anal bleaching, and bedazzling. I also haven't heard of any places around that offer the cheek glow, which is basically a facial for the butt cheeks. These simple things set us apart online, so we stood out above our competition for our unique specialties. To stand out online for your niche, it would be helpful to have the word people would search for in your title. When I first opened my business, name was Clinic Laser and Wax Studio. That was before I started offering sugaring. So it was easier for people to recognize the services I offered from the name. If I was just called Clinic Studio, it would have been harder for my website and Google listing to rank high when people searched for laser or wax services. Also, if people saw the listing Clinic Studio, they wouldn't have known for sure what services we did and perhaps would not have clicked or called to get more information. By having laser and wax in the name, it helped me pop up higher on Google searches for those search terms and also made it clear to the customer what services I offered. Especially in the beginning when you are growing your business and wanting to be recognized for a specialty, it really helps to have the name of the service in your business name. You could always change the name down the road once you have established clientele, if desired. For example, let's say you want to be known for massage for the elderly. You wouldn't want to call your business Comfort Touch because that isn't quite clear and doesn't help with online searches for massage or for senior citizens. In the beginning, it would be more advantageous to have a name like Golden Age Massage for Seniors. When choosing a niche, especially if it is very specific, you may find that you have no competition, at least for that particular niche. When I started offering sugaring at Clinic, we were one of the only places in the Denver area that offered sugaring. Now there are more places that offer it, but it is still much harder to find than waxing. One thing I noticed was that people new to the area who had been sugared in the previous hometown sought out sugaring in Denver and would drive quite a distance sometimes past all of the waxing salons because they only wanted to be sugared. I also had male clients driving quite a distance because we were one of the only places around that really promoted men's Brazilians on our website. Knowing who your competition is will help you determine your pricing. I would often look and see what other places charge for the same service that I was offering. Since so many people can shop online now, that is a great place to start your search. There are many people in our industry that don't have a web presence yet and perhaps don't need one if they are already completely booked up. If they are in the same niche as you, seek them out so that you can find out their prices and anything else they are doing that is working well for them and filling their schedule. Depending on your situation, you may want to price higher or lower than the competition. Oftentimes, people who specialize in a specific service can charge higher prices because they are the expert and clients will pay more for their knowledge and experience. If this is the route you choose to go, keep in mind that you can always do special promotions and discounts in the beginning to attract new clients. But as long as your customers know these are promotional prices, they won't be shocked or angry when you charge them your higher price in future visits. In other cases, you may want to charge lower prices for your niche service because you are so efficient, but then charge higher prices for the services you don't want to promote. For instance, when I first started my Brazilian hair removal studio, I would charge $95 for an hour massage, which was on the high end because I didn't want to attract massage clients. In fact, I didn't even have massage as a service listed on my menu, but I did have clients ask about it since I was a massage therapist. So in the beginning, before I was booked solid with hair removal services, I would give massages to those clients who asked and were willing to pay $95 per hour. I noticed that I didn't mind doing the massage when I felt like I was being compensated well for it. Once I was accustomed to making $55 in 15 minutes for a wax or $100 for a 5-minute laser, I didn't want to go back to doing an entire hour of massage for only $60, which was the average rate. Charging a lower rate than average for your niche services can make them more affordable to accommodate a broader range of income levels. By having more competitive pricing, it also opens up more opportunity for repeat business when they are priced so the average person can afford them on a monthly basis. For instance, if you are able to do a perfect brow shaping in 8 minutes or less, you could book 8 people in an hour and charge $10 each and still make $80 plus tips per hour. Plus, the majority of those people would be rebooking with you every 2 to 4 weeks at that price. Once you were booked solid for as many hours as you wanted to work, you could either raise your prices slightly or train someone else in your methods and help them get booked up. And if you paid them $20 per hour plus their tips, you would still be making $60 per hour without working harder. When you can keep your prices competitive and it is a service you are highly skilled and trained in, it's a recipe for success. When it came to pricing, I can't know for sure if I did it right. When the Groupon craze started, it really changed the laser hair removal industry, and I ended up slashing my advertised prices on my menu and website to compete. Looking back, I wonder if I would have been better off keeping the higher prices and doing Groupon type specials. That way the customer would see the value they were getting. I could have kept the higher price listed with a slash through it and then the special price in red next to it. That being said, it's always helpful to stay aware of the competition and strategize how you are going to compete. You don't want to find that you are spinning your wheels trying to get your business going only to find out it's not working because of your advertised pricing. Let's say you want to charge $100 for your service. When you look at the competition, they are only charging $50, but you know they aren't including everything into it that you would do, and they aren't as skilled as you. One thing you could do to compete is charge $50 on your menu, but then charge additional pricing for the upgrades that you want to include. Once you have the client in your treatment room and you have established the relationship with you as the expert, it will be easier for you to explain the benefits of the upgrades and sell them to the client. If you don't have anyone in your treatment room because your prices are too high, then try out this strategy to help fill your schedule. In my case for doing Brazilian waxing, I noticed that some other salons would charge additional fees for trimming the hair, removing ingrowns, applying an ingrown hair solution, or if the service took more time because the person was extra hairy, or adding the abdomen trail or doing the full bikini line, which might include the inner thighs. My strategy was to include all of those extras in my regular service and win repeat business because they received an exceptional experience at the same price they would pay somewhere else that didn't include all the upgrades. The only thing I did charge extra for was when I had to do the entire butt cheek area, but I would also ask the customer first and let them know I charged an additional $20 for that area so they could choose. That strategy worked and it fit with my personality. I would not have been able to let a client leave without getting out all of their ingrown hairs. I also could not whack someone without trimming the hair first. I'm not sure some salons don't give the clients a choice in the matter and just charge them the extra fees when they check them out. If the client is caught off guard by the higher price, they may feel like they were taken advantage of and not returned. Setting prices could be the determination of success or failure, so it's very important part of setting up your business and studying your competition to see what they are doing, especially the businesses that are the most successful. Where will you be located? We have all heard it said, location, location, location. And oftentimes location can make or break a business. Your online location can be even more important than your physical location, especially as a small business. However, both are important and something that you will want to put some attention towards. My first business was doing massages. I was in a women's fitness center. My treatment room was smack dab in the middle of all the commotion, chatty ladies' locker room on one wall, aerobic classroom on another, and the nursery on the other wall. It was not the ideal place for a quiet, relaxing massage room. In spite of all that, I was able to have a steady client base and repeat business. My first year in business in 2002, I brought in over $50,000 in revenue building my business from scratch. Some of the positives to this location were being located in an affluent area, having a built-in client potential with the members of the gym, and the gym was in a strip mall right off of a busy highway. I asked the gym if I could offer massages for non-members, and we worked out a win-win situation. I charged a non-member rate, so there was incentive for them to become members. This allowed me to advertise in the local magazine. That is one way I brought in quite a bit of business. Since I couldn't do male clients at the women's gym, I worked out a deal with a chiropractor in the same shopping center that I could use his facility for massages on a commission basis. I started gaining some regular clients that were covered by insurance at his office. It was a little more work because I had to bring over my massage table and my supplies to get set up for the massages, but at least it was conveniently located. My second year in business, I ended up working with another chiropractor closer to my house. He was just starting a brand new business and did all the advertising for me. He was located in a busy shopping center and also did mass print advertising. He paid me on a commission plus tips. I split my time between both the women's gym and his office. I set up an interesting schedule where I flip-flopped mornings and evenings at both places. So essentially, I would end up doing 6 to 8 massages per day with a break in the middle to have lunch and drive to the other location. I noticed that by reducing my hours at the women's gym, my schedule was almost always booked solid, and because the chiropractor was doing so much promotion for me, I was booked up at his office as well. When I decided to go to esthetician school, I hired 2 massage therapists, one for each location, to take over my day appointments and help me on the weekends. Hiring massage therapists was fun because I had a handful of free massages before I decided on the top 2 candidates. Both of them were awesome, actually even better than me as far as their knowledge and understanding of the human body. The therapist I hired for the chiropractor office did more deep tissue massage than I did. She couldn't have been able to do 8 massages per day, but she could handle 3 to 4, which was all I needed her for since I covered the evening clients. The therapist I hired for the women's fitness center had a very similar touch as I did, even though she was half my height. I'm over 6 foot tall, and she was about 4 feet tall. While going to esthetician school, I was still able to do 3 to 4 massages every evening, alternating between both offices, and then full days on Saturday and Sunday. When I started working on the floor at esthetician school, I couldn't keep working Saturdays, so the other therapists helped out more. I say all of this partly to share my story, but also to point out that having multiple locations can help expand your customer reach. I was located in high traffic areas that were easy to get to and see from major highways and intersections. I think that played an important part in my success, especially since the internet was not as prominent then as it is today. My brother actually built a website for me with great pictures of my office and me doing massages, but it wasn't high ranking online and it really didn't bring in a ton of traffic. It was used more as a brochure to put on my business cards and make them more useful by having the link listed if people were interested to check out more before calling to schedule. However, the location didn't seem to do the women's gym much good. Within a month after I moved out, I drove by and found the building empty. They had gone out of business. Obviously, it takes more than location to make a business successful. I think in their case, the overhead was too much. I was only paying $400 per month for a small room, and their rent was closer to $3,000 per month. So they had to sell a lot of memberships just to pay the rent. I have found online location is becoming even more important than brick and mortar location. Your online location includes things like your website address, your blog, your social media page, YouTube channel, Google Maps listing, Yelp page, and of course your organic search placement for specific keywords relating to your business and your niche. Like most people starting a new business, you might not have a lot of extra funds to invest in building a website. Even though it's something you will want to have, you could easily get started with free things like a Facebook page, a blog, and a YouTube channel. All of those things don't cost anything to start, and it's a great way to list your phone number and address for people to contact you for appointments. In the beginning, you will typically only be seeing a few clients per week, so you will be able to build your online presence over time. In fact, I have a friend who works part-time at her office specializing in sugaring, bringing in over $40,000 per year, and only uses her Yelp and Facebook page to advertise her contact information in hours. She has not created a website yet. If you have an excellent spa up in the woods somewhere with raving reviews about your signature pre and post pregnancy massages on Yelp and a high ranking website on Google for your specific keywords, you will most likely have as much business as you can handle. And the fact that you are not in a prime location in town doesn't matter as much because people could easily find you online. They're willing to drive to you because you offer specifically what they're looking for. In the beauty industry, there is more emphasis on quality of service and personal connection than on your actual physical location. That's why clients kept coming back to me month after month for massages, even though my spa music didn't always drown out the neighboring aerobics class or a crying baby in the nursery. I offered an excellent massage that was customized to their specific needs, and I made a personal connection with them that couldn't be replaced going somewhere else. When I first opened up a Comaclitic studio, I chose an area that was near a developed outdoor mall. My plan was to rent the 500 square foot office for a year, build up a client base, and then move into the mall. After a year building my business, I already had a full schedule where I was located. If I moved into the mall, I would gain more exposure, but I couldn't take in more clients without hiring another esthetician. The earnings I would make after paying the higher rent plus the employee didn't make any sense. I could make more money and have less stress staying where I was. Luckily, it turned out that another room in my building opened up that linked into my current space, so I was able to add another 300 square foot treatment room. With expanded hours and hiring more employees, I was able to increase revenue in my current location without a drastic increase in rent. Plus, my brick and mortar location didn't affect my online product business one iota. When putting together your business plan, evaluate your location and find something that works for you. But don't get hung up on it being perfect, especially right from the beginning. My philosophy is start small with lower costs, and as you build your client base, you can improve on your location. This is specifically related to estheticians and massage therapists. I can't speak for other industries. I have seen one too many people in my industry suffer because they picked up a space too large or too inexpensive for them. Try to find something around $400 per month. You don't want all your hard-earned money simply going to pay for the space you are in. Okay, I'm going to stop there because my little guy just woke up from his nap, and we'll pick up on this in the next video.